Right, so this is something that came out, I don't know, 18 months ago, 2 years ago. Me and Dutch talked about it at nauseum. Adam Page at some point did an interview saying, "Oh, I don't really ask for advice." And then that sort of from there span out to a thing where certain people were saying, no, most of the wrestlers don't ask for advice in AEW. What's your experience? Is that overblown? Because I've been told the opposite as well, as far as the young guys asking advice from the veterans, the producers such as yourself.
Well, I'll tell you this. When Jake and Arn were there and Tully, not a lot of guys were picking their brains. And even if I was assigned a match and I was stuck in a park, I would go to him and go, "You got any ideas? I'm stuck here." But so that really shocked me. I thought, you got this wealth of knowledge and no one's there was a few, but not a lot of guys picking their brains. Man, I would have been on them. But as far as me, uh like Hangman, I've had quite a few of his matches, and he's always been open to my suggestions and stuff. But maybe it's the way I put it. I don't say, "Oh no, your idea sucks," and that's it. I'll say, "Well, that really don't fit here, but here's a way you could do it." And I always give it examples too when I'm saying that's like it won't work of how I've failed in my career. Because first thing I say when I do seminars is everything I preach to you, I am 100% guilty of. But that's how I've learned by other old timers telling me, "Hey, what are you doing out there?" And them explaining to me stuff. So when I try to tweak things, I always try and explain to them um, why it makes better sense this way, or I don't just say, "No, your idea sucks," and that's it. So I've usually uh, everyone's seems pretty open to it. I just had Ricochet the first time I got to work with him, and I kept telling him, "Now tell me if I'm being overbearing." He says, "No, no, no." He says, "I like this." He says, "All the little things you've added make the match more serious." And I'm like, "Yeah, we're supposed to make this look serious, like we're trying to win a match." So, so it was a pleasant surprise.
What wrestlers currently or in the past 5 years with AEW have you personally taken under your wing, or maybe saw, as like a personal project, would you say?
Oh, oh, I've helped out a lot of them. It just the one if I have ones that come up and ask me or say, "Will you watch one of my matches with me?" You know, I'll help them out. And so it's just the ones that want to keep picking my brain, so to speak. So I've helped a lot of them out. Like, oh, let me think: Ethan Page, Will Hobbs, Ricky Starks, Jamie Hayter, Tony Storm. Uh, I'm trying to think. Even trying to think. Wow, this is hard. Since working here, I feel like I've watched 5,000 matches in the last 5 years, so everything's kind of like a blur. But even like Anna Jay, trying to think who else. Who else have I had a lot? But
Are you are you
I
the
don't
head
know.
agent in AEW, or is there a head agent, or is everyone sort of on the same keel? I guess as far as
No,
the
no.
producers.
There's I think like CD and Pat Buck are like head agents and talent coordinators also. So
Now, what's one habit? You don't have to limit yourself to one, but what's one habit that wrestlers they do today that man really bug you? And it doesn't matter how many times you say don't do it, they do it.
beg the crowd, beg the crowd for a reaction. I'll never forget. I'm telling you a lot of stuff I say in my seminars. Years and years ago, I had a big guy had me in a bear hug, and this is probably in the late '80s, early '90s, and Baron von Raschke was on the show. And to try and get the crowd going, what do? I start clapping my hands behind the guy's head while he's got me in a bear hug. I get in the back, and Baron von Raschke goes, "What the hell are you call that out there?" I go, "What do you mean?" He says, "If a guy that size is crushing your spine, are you going to clap behind his head?" I said, "No. You're going to try and get his hands undone and get him off you." He says, "You never beg the crowd." He said, "You get him with your work rate. You get him with your work." And that's one thing that drives me nuts is everyone will beg the crowd now. Like they'll do a move, and instead of trying to pin the guy and win the match, they stand up and do the Stewart from Mad TV and go, "Look what I can do," and beg for a reaction from the crowd. We just told everyone you don't care about winning this match because you didn't try and pin the guy after you did this spectacular move. Stuff like that.
What's the most amount of Canadian destroyers you've seen in one match?
There may be some of them four-way or six-man scrambles where, maybe, I don't know, off the head, I can think of like three or four because all of a sudden it'll be around the horn, the big waterfall, everyone take a turn. So, yeah, I couldn't tell you for sure. I know at least three or four.
I was. This is just going into the minutiae. I saw a video the other day. I think he's a social media like wrestler, I guess, but he's also a wrestler, and he's called like the veteran Jack Vaughan, and he was showing the difference between indie pin and real pin. And that's one of those things where I may have talked about that with Sabu, is that there was someone who really cared about the legitimacy of every pin he did. He put the, crush the elbows in. If he's going to hook the leg, he's going to, loop and grasp his own hands, that kind of thing. Make it look like every pin could actually pin someone. Just small things like that, do you think, get lost over time?
Yes. It's these small, small details that make all the difference in the world. And the fans may not realize exactly why, but I've had moments in matches where something just didn't look right. And you hear that entire crowd do the collective Scooby, uh-huh. And it's not a good feeling. It's not a good, because they don't know exactly why, but they can tell something just didn't look right. You know what I mean? And it's our job, even though the curtain's been pulled wide open, it's still our job to suspend their belief for 2 hours. And they want us to, because when they see something that looks so silly, so fake, so bullshit, they'll even go, "Oh, come on." They want us to suspend their belief for 2 hours. And I think so many have given up. They want to stay indie-rific. They don't want to be professional. They want to do the same cliche, stupid, silly shit that makes it not even look like you're trying to win a match. They want us to suspend their belief still.
When did you go from, as you said yourself, Baron von Raschke or whoever else, where you were doing, the basic young boy stuff, not realizing, begging the crowd and all that kind of thing? When do you go from the old Jerry Lynn to the good worker Jerry Lynn that wouldn't pander to the crowd and perform how you would like to see a wrestler perform?
Well, I realized, like, when I broke in, like I said, the curtain wasn't pulled wide open. It was drilled in your head, protect the business, kayfabe it, make them think this is real. And I did that through my entire career. But I realized as the business changed, you have to be willing to change with it too. And but there's certain basic fundamentals we always stick to. But I realized, say, I was talking to one time Road Dogg after a match I had, say the heel did something, the heel maybe on the lockup gave me an arm drag or something. He got up and started doing some silly dance, like mocking me. Well, now I realized after the match, I didn't do it, but I thought, well, all I got to do is out wrestle him a little fancier, embarrass him, get up and do his dance back to him, and maybe add a little couple hip thrusts to piss him off. Now he can come charging. Here's a drop to hold. Boom, I'll grab a hold. Now I'm on top. So I can still add the little entertainment aspect, but do it in a way where he's already done it, but I do it back a little differently just to get under his skin to piss him off. So I realized there's ways of adding the entertainment aspect, but still making it look like you're still trying to win a match.
If I know you don't like listen Mount Rushmores and that kind of thing, but who in AEW currently would you say were the guys who just get it? Who are the guys who've just fully rounded, get everything you're saying? You don't even need to tell them. They know it. Especially the young guys, let's say.
Boy, I don't know. To tell you the truth.
Don't steam into me with names,
Oh, man. I don't want to talk too much about the company I'm currently working and about the guys because I'll tell you this. You never stop learning in this business. That's what I really love about it. And that's what I hated about the most about having to quit wrestling in the ring. There's so much more I wanted to learn. I wanted to get so much better. And probably in the last 2 months of my career when I was still wrestling, I did an interview. And this guy asked me, he goes, "At what point in your career do you think you were at your best? And I said, never. I knew I always had room for improvement. I always wanted to get better. So I really, I feel funny critiquing, how can I say this? At work, that's my job, is to try and help you get better and stuff, and critique and stuff. But I don't want that's behind the scenes and personal with the guys. I don't like doing it out in the public. You know what I mean?
Yeah, rightly so. Don't worry, I'm going to get off AEW now. So no more AEW questions.
Well, goodness. You can ask me. It's just I don't want to, get personal.
No.
That's behind the scenes and between me and the wrestlers.